The items you will need to flush your cooling system include common hand tools, a knife for cutting the heater or radiator hose, a flush and fill kit, a garden hose connected to a faucet, the correct amount of antifreeze to refill the system with a 50-50 blend, and some cooling system cleaner or flush. First, always begin with a cool engine. Loosen the radiator cap to release the pressure within the system. Locate the heater hose that leads from the top of the engine to the inlet of the heater core. This is the hose you will want to connect the flushing tee into. Select a relatively straight section of hose and cut it in half with a knife or hose cutter. Slide the clamps provided with the kit over each end of the hose. Install the proper size flushing tee into the heater hose and tighten the clamps securely. Next, install the black end of the backflow preventer coupler to the flushing tee with the yellow end going to a garden hose. Be sure to route the garden hose clear of hot exhaust manifolds and any moving parts such as belts or fans. Fully remove the radiator cap and install the splash deflector tube into the radiator neck. For best results, open the drain in the bottom of the radiator while flushing for complete removal of sediments. Turn on the water supply for the garden hose and check to see that liquid is pouring out of the deflector tube before proceeding. Start the engine. Set the heater control to the hot or warm position and run the engine at idle speed. Continue back flushing the cooling system until the water from the splash tube runs clear. This will usually take approximately 5 to 10 minutes. Once the water runs clear, shut the engine off and turn off the water supply. Remove the splash tube from the radiator neck, disconnect and remove the garden hose from the backflow preventer, and remove the backflow preventer from the flushing tee. Now is the time to use an appropriate radiator cleaner or flush in the system. Most cleaning chemicals work best when the system has been totally flushed of all old coolant, loose dirt, and sediments. There are several types of radiator cleaners available, from mild to strong. It is important to use care in selecting which cleaner is right for your needs. We recommend that you always try a mild cleaner first, as the strong cleaners are acidic and poisonous. Be sure to read all specific instructions on the cleaner you choose before you begin to use it. Follow the directions closely. Before adding a cleaner, first close the radiator petcock and add the flush chemical to the radiator. Refill the radiator and cooling system with water. Once full, screw the cover back onto the flushing tee and replace the radiator cap. Start the engine and turn the heat control to the hot or warm position. Allow the engine to run for 10 minutes after it reaches operating temperatures and the mixture is circulating throughout the system. Next, shut the engine off and allow it to cool down. After running a cleaner through the engine, drain and reflush the system as before using the flushing tee. After properly flushing the system, close the radiator drain. Leave the cap off the flushing tee, as this allows the air to escape from the system as new coolant is added. The next step is to add fresh coolant. Check the capacity of your vehicle's cooling system in your owner's manual or an automotive service manual to determine how much antifreeze to add to achieve a 50% mixture of antifreeze in water. For example, if your cooling system contains 11.5 quarts or approximately 3 gallons of coolant, you will need 1 1/2 gallons of antifreeze to put back into the system. Begin adding straight coolant into the radiator until a 50% mixture is obtained. To avoid spilling when adding coolant, use a radiator funnel as shown. When adding the coolant, you will notice water coming out of the flushing tee. If you start to see pure antifreeze pouring out of the flushing tee, make sure the small gasket inside the cap is in place, and quickly install the cap onto the flushing tee. Finish adding the remaining coolant to the radiator. Next, top off the radiator with water, start, and run the engine with the radiator cap off until the coolant begins to circulate in the radiator. Once the coolant is circulating, top off the fluid level with a 50-50 blend of coolant and water. Shut the engine off, remove the funnel, and reinstall the radiator cap. If equipped with a coolant recovery tank, add a 50-50 blend of coolant and water to the proper level mark. Reinstall the cap, and you're done. Another method available for flushing your vehicle's cooling system is a coolant recovery and replacement system. This system collects all the used antifreeze, is less messy, and can be used on vehicles where the radiator drain plug is hard to reach or not a part of the radiator. Before using this system, carefully read and understand the directions. First, locate the upper radiator hose. Cut the hose and install the hose adapter, funnel, and drain sleeve. Next, place the other end of the drain sleeve into the no-mess container. Fill the funnel with water, start the engine, and remove the amount of used antifreeze specified in the removal table. It will usually take approximately 8 to 10 minutes with the engine idling before the thermostat will open up and coolant starts to flow into the container. After draining and adding new coolant, quickly reinstall the cap onto the container full of used antifreeze and take to your nearest recycling center or contact your local authorities for proper disposal methods in your area. Next, install the 2 hose clamps and proper hose mender into the upper radiator hose. Lastly, with the radiator cap off, start and run the engine. Once the coolant is circulating, top off the fluid level with a 50-50 blend of coolant and water, and you're done.
Let's quickly review flushing and filling your coolant system. First, always start with a cool engine. Locate the proper heater hose and install the flushing tee. Connect a garden hose to the tee. Insert the deflector tube into the radiator neck. Turn the water on, start the vehicle, and flush the system for approximately 10 minutes. After flushing, add a radiator cleaner and water to the cooling system and run the vehicle. When finished cleaning, drain and flush the cooling system again. Add the proper mixture of antifreeze and water to achieve a 50-50 blend. Check the coolant recovery tank and add as needed. If you are collecting your old coolant, cut the upper hose and install the hose adapter, funnel, and drain sleeve. Place the drain sleeve into the container, fill the funnel with water, and start the engine. Run the engine until the specified amount for your vehicle is removed, add new coolant, and dispose of the old coolant properly.